All right, so just a quick video on some hints for homework number 8. So for the first question, you have this playlist, and you want to figure out, okay, you've got you have an 8-song playlist, and you have 75 total songs to choose from. I know no one uses the iPod anymore, but still, I think this is the original. 15 songs, again, all these references are 10 years old. 15 songs by the Jonas Brothers, 12 by Miley Cyrus, and 10 by Bow Wow. How many different 8-song playlists can Janine create? So assume the order matters. In other words, song 1, song 2, song 3 is different than song 3, song 2, song 1. The order matters. So first thing we think we got, okay, totally got 75 songs, 15 Jonas Brothers, 12 Miley Cyrus, 10 Bow Wow, but we don't care about those yet. We just want to say how many different 8-song playlists can we create? So this is a tricky question. So first, I'm going to make it simpler. In math, it's often better to make things simple first. So instead of an 8-song playlist, let's change that. Let's make a simpler problem. Let's make it a 2-song playlist. We could try to count by hand. 2 songs is much easier to create, a 2-song playlist. You could go song 1, song 2, song 1, song 3, song 1, song 4, song 1, song 5, song 1, song 6, blah, blah, blah. Then you can start with song 2, song 2, song 1, song 2, song 3, song 2, song 4, song 2, song 5, etc., etc., etc. So you could actually try to write the sample space. Don't recommend that, but you could. Okay, so 2-song playlist. We're going to make it simpler first. 2-song. So again, the first one is to write the sample space. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. Right, you do this, and it's an incredible amount, but in total, you would not actually want to do this because there's 5,550 entries just for picking 2 songs from 75. Okay, so we're going to turn to our better methods. First is the multiplication counting principle. So first, because we've got 2 songs, we're not doing 8 songs here, 2 songs, we think, how many choices do I have for the first? How many choices do I have for the second? Okay, so we have 75 total songs. So once I pick that first song, then I have 74 for the second choice. 75 times 74. So the multiplication counting principle is one way to do it. The other way is permutations. Again, permutations is a way to arrange things where order matters. And since it says order matters, in other words, song 1 followed by song 2 is different than song 2 followed by song 1. I'm going to say 75p2. Again, the first number is how many you're picking from. P means permutation, order matters, and 2 means I'm picking 2 songs or 2 things to arrange. And again, the formula goes 75 factorial on top over 75 minus 2 factorial or 73 factorial. So 75 factorial over 73 factorial. Again, factorial means you're multiplying all the way down. I'm not going to write it all the way down. 75 times 74 times 73 times 72 times 71, 70, all the way down to 1. But this is also the same thing, 73 times 72 times 71. So I can actually stop and just cancel these out right here. This is 73 times 72 times 71. They're all going to cancel out. And so you're just left with 75 times 74, which is the exact same thing here. This is also 5550. Okay? Let's make it slightly different. What about a 3-song playlist? Okay, so about 5,000 for a 2-song playlist. How many possible for a 3-song playlist? Again, you could actually write out the sample space. Song 1, song 2, song 3. Song 1, song 2, song 4. Song 1, song 2, song 5. Song 1 times... But it's going to be an insanely large file. It had about 405,000 entries. Okay, so sample space, you could write it out. I don't want to do that. So instead we can use the multiplication counting principle, right? So same idea. For the first song I have 75 choices. For the second song I have 74 choices. For the third I have 73. And that's going to give you 405,150. So I get an extra 1 here. 405,150 permutations, different playlists. And then in permutations, same thing. Instead of 75p2, we say 75p3, right? From 75, we're picking 3 where order matters, right? Song 1, song 2, song 3 is a different playlist than song 3, song 2, song 1. 75 factorial over 75 minus 3 factorial was 72 factorial. All the stuff, 72, 71, 78 cancels out, and so you're left with 75 times 74 times 73, and then everything else cancels out. So 75, 74, 73, multiply this out, you get 405,000. So we can see just a 2-song playlist was 5,000. A 3-song playlist was 400,000. So we went from 5 to 400,000. So a tremendous jump. So now we can imagine, wow, an 8-song playlist is going to be huge. So again, you can try to pause the video. Try to do it in the 2 different ways. This is your homework. Number 2, how many different playlists if you're trying to pick an 8-song playlist from 75? Okay, so multiplication counting principle is 75 times 74 times 73 times 72 times 71 times 70 times 69 times 68, right? Because each one you pick a song, then you have that one less to choose from here. On here, you could do 75p8, right? We're from 75, we're picking 8, where order matters. So 75 factorial over 75 minus 8 factorial, which is 67 factorial. And again, you could write it out, or we can just go to Desmos and plug it in. These are going to cancel out. So 75 times 74 times 73, 72, 71, 70, 69, 68. Basically, just to show you that it's the same thing. You get the same thing with the multiplication counting principle or permutations. And so we can go to Desmos. We can just type in 75 times 74 times 73 times 72, 71, 70, 69, 68, or just type in 75p8 if you forgot how to do that. Again, you can go to Desmos. You can go to Desmos and just type in lowercase npr parenthesis 75 comma 8. And that gives you this gigantic number, which is 6.8 times 10 to the 14, which means you're going to move this decimal 14 times. Try to write that out. It's 6.8 times 10 to the 14th, which is about 680 trillion. So that just shows you how fast things increase. 2-song playlists, about 5,000. 3-song playlists, about 400 something thousand. 8-song playlists, 680 trillion possibilities. Crazy. All right, a few more hints. For number 3, how many 8-song playlists contain only songs by the Jonas Brothers? No songs by the Jonas Brothers. We're not going to do this one. We're only going to do this one, so please do this one on your own. But notice again, we have 15 songs from the Jonas Brothers. So we're asking, okay, for an 8-song playlist, how many involve just the Jonas Brothers only? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 7, 10. Or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. So you can form a lot of them. So how do we count that? So the difference is, we can do either way again. Multiplication counting principle. The difference is what number goes here. How many possibilities if I only want to count Jonas Brothers songs? I don't have 75 to choose from anymore. I don't have 75. I only have 15. And then once I've chosen that first Jonas Brothers song, I have 14, and then 13, and then 12, etc. Okay? So that is the multiplication counting principle way of doing it. And permutations wise, same thing. I don't have 75p8. Okay? It's 15, because I only have 15 to choose from. 15p8. So from 15 Jonas Brothers songs, I want to pick 8 of them for my playlist. So 15 factorial over 15 minus 8 factorial, which is 15 factorial over 7 factorial. Again, this all, you don't have to actually write this. You can just punch it into Desmos. But just to show that it's the same thing. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, which is about 259 million playlists. 259 million playlists possible. And again, please do no songs by yourself. All right, last song for help. What is the probability that all 8 songs are by Miley Cyrus? So this is tricky because it's probability. Probability, okay? So how is this different? Well, probability means you have to calculate 2 things, okay? First off, it's a fraction. It's not 12 over 75. That's a simple, it's a good try, but you have 12 Miley Cyrus songs. You have 75 overall. So you'd say, oh, it's 12 out of 75. No, that's only if you're picking one song. You have to consider all possible 8-song playlists, okay? All possible 8-song playlists. So there's so many different 8-song playlists possible. It's an incredible amount. We're going to calculate, okay, my probability is going to be out of all possible 8-song playlists, right? You know, this, blah, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, some involve the Jonas Brothers, some involve Bow Wow, some involve Miley Cyrus. You're trying to figure out of all these crazy amounts of 8-song playlists from these 75 songs, how many of them involve just Miley Cyrus songs? So, Miley Cyrus 8, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 2, there's only a few of them, well, relatively speaking. But so out of all the possible 8-song playlists, how many have only Miley Cyrus songs? It's not 12 out of 75. Okay? So how do we do that? So the probability that all 8 are Miley Cyrus songs is we just count. So it's like 2 problems in one. Count the number of possible Miley Cyrus songs, 8-song Miley Cyrus playlists out of the total 8-song playlist possible, which we already calculated. Okay? So again, you can pause if you want to try it. But basically, just like we did with the Jonas Brothers, if you want just Miley Cyrus songs, instead of 15p8 for the Jonas Brothers, we have 12 Miley Cyrus songs, so 12p8. 12p8. So I'm picking 8 songs from 12. That's the total number of Miley Cyrus songs. Okay, and then for my denominator, it's the number of total 8-song playlists. So if we punch those into numbers, 12p8, again, go to Desmos, it's about 19 million. So let's think about that. There's 19 million possible, or almost 20 million, ways to be successful. The problem is, in the denominator, there's 680 trillion different possible playlists. So 19 million possible ways to succeed out of 680 trillion. the scale of the number of Miley Cyrus songs is completely overwhelmed by the total number of songs possible. So if you punch those in and you divide these actually out, you get 2.93 times 10 to the negative 8. So what that is you move the decimal 8 times and you get this. It's practically zero. Practically zero. So if you're selecting a random playlist, the probability that all 8 are Miley Cyrus is practically zero. All right, so please do the rest on your own.